Hello, I am back again with a open air balayage tutorial, this time with long hair on my client Maddie. She has not colored her hair in a very long time. She has some very, very old highlights on her tips, but otherwise she's completely virgin hair. So that's why I chose to do open air on her. I usually only do, well, pretty much only do open air on virgin hair. I never do it over colored hair, previously colored hair, just because the results never really come out consistent. So I'm just gonna do a kind of traditional like V-shaped pattern on her. So she has some layers in the front of her face. So I'm kind of just reading her layers and where everything's laying. Like she has that little bit around her face from her bangs, and I'm going to do that separately. But I'm using O&M's Paint Powder, and I mixed 30, half 30 and half 40, got 35. And I'm just doing really gentle strokes on the side of each section and bringing it all the way through and saturating the ends. She just wants something very, very natural, nothing too crazy. She doesn't want to be too blonde. So this is a really great way to get some of those sun-kissed highlights without being too overly bleach blonde. So I'm taking that section around her face and kind of just seeing where the little points are and putting the paint powder on those little points and bringing it through. This takes a lot of practice. I mean, if you've never done this before, I would practice on a mannequin head. I used to not like doing open air. I was such a messy colorist, like so messy. And this took me a while to perfect. I definitely had to use mannequin heads to practice, but I really love doing it now. I don't do it a lot. I do a lot of foliage, I'll admit, but this is really fun to do once in a while. It feels very organic and like you're actually painting, like you're a real artist. So I do enjoy doing this too, as well as using foils. So as you can see, I'm just taking this section and pulling it kind of taut. You want to make sure that each section you take you have a lot of tension on it, because that's how you get the lightener on there really well. And just painting the sides and making a little V at the end. I'm pretty much just taking diagonal sections, and then you'll see with her bangs, she's growing out her bangs. So she wanted it to kind of like be incorporated with the highlights. I apologize for my voice. I don't know what's going on with my throat, but I've had laryngitis, I think, for the last couple days, and I am dying. It is so annoying if you've ever experienced it, but I've been wanting to edit this video and put it out, so here I am with a really hoarse voice. Anywho, so I'm just going up the head and taking a section. I felt like the bang section was a little too chunky, so I divided it in two. And I'm going to do a little money piece. So doing like a pretty strong application in the front there. And then bringing it through. And just doing like gentle strokes. But you want to make sure that it's really saturated, because if you don't saturate it enough, it won't show up. I also like to I don't really use much to separate the sections, but I do like to use cotton, especially around the face, because that just kind of keeps it safe and away from with their eyes. Of course, you want to be careful with that. especially if they have bangs. Oof. I also like those bangers, the little shields from Framar. You could use those too if your client has bangs, and that keeps the lightener away from their face. Excuse me. So I'm just going up the head diagonal sections, and yeah, just using cotton to separate. And if there's any little nuances that you see, like little bits of lightener that is in a spot that you don't want it to be, you can either rub it, get your finger wet a little bit and rub it out with water, or you can get your comb and just kind of like, I use the tail of the comb to kind of get rid of that. Because if bleach dries out or it gets rubbed out, it won't work at all. Maddie has very fine hair, but she has a lot of it, and it's very straight. So you got to keep in mind the texture, how it's going to lay. That's another reason why I like doing this kind of technique, is because you can really see like where the hair is going to lay. It's very transparent. Foils, sometimes you get a little lost because everything's just like in foils, so you don't really know how it's going to look. Well, I mean, if you map it out correctly, but sometimes you don't. And I feel like with painting, you can really like map out and see, okay, this is where the brightness is going to be. So now I'm doing the other side, and I just sped it up a little bit because it's basically the same thing as what I did on the other side. So enjoy this, and then I'll meet you in the back. All right, so we're now in the back, and I'm just doing a partial on her. I didn't do like a full head, so I started in mid part of the back of her head, and I'm basically going to be going up her head, bricklaying. So starting with two sections in the back, painting the V's, and then saturating the ends. This gives a really, really soft effect on the hair. This is my favorite pattern to do with open air balayage, because it doesn't overly blonde the hair, but it definitely helps the ends get some brightness. And it's fairly easy. Once you get the hang of it, like I said, practice on a mannequin head, and it's pretty fun after you do it a few times. So I sped this up, but I'm going up the head, and the next section I do 3 subsections, so kind of like bricklaying. Using cotton to separate. She has a lot of layers in her hair too, so I'm keeping that in mind as well. Once I get to the crown of her head, I do a wide weave, and I just paint those and do kind of the same thing, bring it through, saturate the ends. For her root smudge, I'm doing a teardrop shape on her head, and it's O&M's, just the 7.0 and 3.5 cream, 3.5 volume, excuse me. And I'm just, doing a teardrop shape. You know, it's shorter up near the front money piece, and then you're just dropping it down towards the back. And then for her toner gloss, it's 9.0, 9.6, and a little bit of 9.3, which is a gold, and that's all in Clean Liquids from O&M with the six volume liquid. Really, really love these colors. They're so beautiful. O&M has like the best colors. I wanted her color to be kind of honey, goldeny, but remove a little bit of warmth. I didn't want it to be too warm, so that's why I added the 9.6. So get that in, pull it all the way through, and then I get her front bits, the money piece, last. That's where I want the most brightness. And I think I processed this for about 10 to 15 minutes. So here's the final result. Came out so pretty. She loved it. Just a little hint of goldeny honeyness in her hair. I think it just brought out her natural color even more. So gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.